Oh my word, what a Grand Prix that was. Austria 2019, thank you so much for that Grand Prix. France, forget about it, it's gone, it's done. Austria was such an incredible Grand Prix. That battle between Leclerc and Max Verstappen, the youngest top two drivers to start on the grid ever in Formula 1. It was so good. Max Verstappen comes out victorious and the Mercedes domination, or the Mercedes run of wins, is over. And actually the last driver to beat the Mercedes in a race was Max Verstappen all the way back in Mexico 2018. So nice to see that trend come along. But commiserations to Charles Leclerc. You know, he lost that victory in Bahrain because of the car. This time round we were hoping that it wasn't going to be the case. This time he had a solid Grand Prix. He didn't really pull away as much as he did in Bahrain. And I think that I had a feeling that it would hinder him at some point, because I thought maybe the Mercedes would, you know, all of a sudden just find some pace, or Vettel might come all the way through. I didn't really expect Verstappen to do so during the course of the Grand Prix anyway, but I thought it would have been quite a close battle at the start of the Grand Prix. So, but before I jump into talking about the race in itself, let's take a look at the race classifications. So Max Verstappen wins his 6th Grand Prix in Formula 1. Super job. Charles Leclerc, as like I said, commiserations, comes home in P2. Valtteri Bottas takes home the final podium position, P3. So where's Hamilton? He's not on the podium. Oh my word. Shock, rare occasion. Enjoy it while you can. Sebastian Vettel in P4. Solid drive from him today. Lewis Hamilton comes on P5. Lando Norris. Yes, you little beauty, my son. P6 for him. Pierre Gasly, P7. Carlos Sainz, P8. Kim Raikkonen in P9. And Antonio Giovinazzi, after 9 races, finally scores his first points in Formula 1. Very well done from Antonio Giovinazzi, and well done to Alfa Romeo this weekend. Very good job from them this weekend. As like I said, Sergio Perez just missed out on the points, 11th place. Daniel Ricciardo in 12th place, and his teammate Hülkenberg comes on behind him in 13th. Racing Point, Lance Stroll's in 14th place. Alexander Albon in 15th place. Romain Grosjean P16. Danny Kvyat P17. George Russell P18. Ken Magnussen P19, and of course, as always, three laps down, Robert Kubica rounds off the grid. So let's go back to the start. Okay, so I was really excited for this one. You know, Charles Leclerc on pole, Max Verstappen in P2. So we're thinking, right, let's see what happens when the cars come into the first corner. So excited. The race gets underway. The lights go out, and Verstappen mucks it up, really, doesn't he? You know, his car goes anti-stall, doesn't have enough revs on the car to get the car going. And we were like, oh no. I was pleased that Leclerc got away well, but at the same time I was just wanting a bit of a battle between those two. I won't lie. I'm just like, oh, Verstappen, no. I was like, oh, that's probably the win over, to be honest with you, because I wasn't expecting the Red Bull to be that fast on race day, I must admit. The Mercedes, though, on the other hand, poor weekend from their standard. I mean, qualifying was nowhere. P1 they showed pace, in FP1, but since then it just hasn't really showed. You know, Leclerc kind of controlled the entire weekend up until that, up until the last few laps. So Mercedes did struggle this weekend, anyways, to say the least. So, and on the subject of that, you know, Lando Norris has a brilliant start. Obviously, capitalises on what happened in front of him, and actually goes on a battle with Lewis Hamilton for P3. And I'm like, oh yes, bloody reminiscent of Austria 2014, I think it was, or 2015 when Jensen Button. I think it was up to P2 or P3 on that particular day. I'm sure it was 2015. But yes, those times came flooding back to me, and I was just like, oh yes, these are the glory days. Good job from Lando Norris, and of course he got capitalised from the other drivers from behind, the 2 Red Bulls, and of course the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. So I was like, all right, okay, fair enough. You know, for me the race is over. Well, for McLaren's terms anyways. But no, he had a good solid drive, battling with Kim Raikkonen in Alfa Romeo. And then he also had a good battle with the Red Bull of Pierre Gasly, who came up behind Kim Raikkonen, who eventually got overtaken by Lando Norris during the course of the Grand Prix. Raikkonen overtook Norris, then Norris got the position back a couple of laps later, and then Gasly was on his case. But Gasly didn't really pull off the move he wanted to. And this is where a lot of people are coming from, and I'm kind of seeing their point now, because Gasly, yes, alright, Raikkonen drove superbly to defend Gasly away, and you know, Raikkonen used all of his experience to fend Gasly off. But Gasly, for me, could have been a bit more aggressive, in my opinion. He could have done a bit more to try and get that position back. He didn't do that, but nevertheless, you know, came right in. It was always going to be a difficult driver to get past anyway. But I believe if someone else was in that car, like particularly Daniel Ricciardo, I think he would have actually pulled the move off. So yes, Charles Leclerc is just, you know, is driving away at this point. Then it comes to the first round of pit stops. Sebastian Vettel comes in at the same time as Valtteri Bottas, but then there's a bit of a problem. Sebastian Vettel's tyres are not ready for him, and I'm like, oh my word, here we go again. Ferrari screwed up their strategy once again. Lack of communication. Apparently there was some sort of team radio interference error where I think there was a bit of lost communication somewhere because of a glitch or something like that in the radio software, I believe. That's what I'm being told anyway. Also, I've heard. So you know that's what caused that. So Vettel had a really good drive, didn't he? Got all the way up to P6, P5, P4, battling with the Red Bulls, going for the Mercedes, for the Mercedes boys, and then goes in the pit and then comes home. I think he came out the pits P7, I think he was. So he had it all to do again, but like Sebastian Vettel does, he just overtakes him, no problem whatsoever, and just has a pretty much average Grand Prix, overtaking Lewis Hamilton towards the end of the Grand Prix. Yes, believe it or not, Vettel overtook Lewis Hamilton. Wow. Lewis Hamilton, of course, not having a particularly good Grand Prix, you know, complaining about something on his wing, had a broken front wing at some point, or had like a very little problem with the wing, so, you know, it wasn't visual to the naked eye. It was like a little problem where it did make a big effect on the car because Hamilton was saying he was losing time. He had to come into the pits, and that was when he ended up behind Sebastian Vettel, and that was a bit of a problem to say the least, wasn't it? So obviously, you know, Lewis Hamilton once again just proving that he is human after all. Yes, Mercedes are going to make mistakes through this Grand Prix. They're not going to be perfect. That's something I have said this season, that Mercedes aren't going to be on point at every single Grand Prix. They're going to have, you know, races where they are going to be quite poor and quite off the pace, and this was one of them. But don't think that this is going to change anything, because at Silverstone I can generally see Mercedes still being the top team. They are still the quickest car. They are still the team to beat at the moment. But I do hope that we do see more races like this. And from the Haas as well, I mean, you know, Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean had a very, very poor Grand Prix. Solid qualifying. I think K-Mag had a grid penalty from 5th to 11th. So that was a bit annoying for him. And then, like Haas pretty much said, or even Romain Grosjean said, the race pace was not going to be there. And that proved today. We had bloody George Russell having a good battle with the Haas as well, alongside the two tall Russells as well. So obviously that was a good battle, but you know, from a very, you know, solid, you know, I'll say solid, very poor weekend from Haas altogether. Alfa Romeo, like I said, they had a really, really good Grand Prix. McLaren, Lando Norris had some really good battles with the other drivers as well. Pulled off a solid move on Kimi Räikkönen, had a good battle with Verstappen as well. Gasly had a good, as like I said, got quite close to Lewis Hamilton. Solid drive from him. Carlos Sainz pitted quite late on in the Grand Prix, came out and started charging away and ended up finishing in the point. Absolutely spot on, thank you so much. McLaren once again proving that the pace is actually there. So yes, Max Verstappen crosses home in P1. Now the incident that is apparently being investigated is the last lap incident between those two drivers, or the penultimate lap between those two drivers, because you know, Max Verstappen, you know, overtook the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas and was just slowly gaining on Charles Leclerc. You know, lap after lap after lap, taking 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths. You know, lap 65, 66, 67, 68, 69. It was getting so close. He had a couple of moves, had opportunities, but Leclerc defended for his life. Solid job from him. And then eventually he got the job done. Went a bit wide. They touched a bit. I'm not too sure on that one. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to cause any like anger between any of the fans or anything. You know, let's just see what the decision is. But at time of recording, Verstappen is still the race winner. But I'm pretty sure that if he is stripped of this win because of that incident, we're going to have another Canada 2019 all over again. Not just for the English side, but Dutch side this time round. So let's see how that pans out. But forget all that. Today's race was definitely the best day, or the best race of the season so far. Mercedes having their worst race so far this season. Leclerc, I tell you what, like he is getting that race win, and he will get it this season. I know fine well he will. He wasn't lucky today. He didn't really pull out as far as I thought he would, but nevertheless, Verstappen did a very solid job. So that's my thoughts. Now let's hear from Lyle. Lyle put race rating 9.5 out of 10. I agree. I would say 9.5 out of 10. Definitely. Then he's got brilliant weekend of action in the hottest Austrian Grand Prix ever. It's sweltering over there. It's sweltering over here at the moment. It's quite gloom over here, but still quite very, very humid. It says, we thought Mercedes would walk it, but Ferrari really stepped up, especially Charles Leclerc. Unlucky Sebastian not being able to match his teammate, but definitely made up for it at the start. Fernando Alonso-esque, yes, Alonso being very, very good at starts, and obviously Sebastian Vettel did a very solid job. Max Verstappen hits his anti-stall and makes it an abysmal start, but claws the back positions early on. Finally, in capitals, so that's big. Mercedes wins, come to an end. Halt with Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, great day with the Dutch fans in the masses. Driver of the day, Max Verstappen / Lando Norris. Best in qualifying, K-Mag, team of the weekend, Haas. Driver of the day, definitely for me, Max Verstappen. Nobody else deserved it. And in my opinion, he deserved that race win more than Leclerc. Argue against it if you think I'm wrong, but no one deserved it more than Max Verstappen. Solid drive. Won this race last season. Won this race this season. Fully deserved it. Honda's first win since was it 2006 Hungary? With Jensen Button. I think it was the last time they won a Grand Prix. So how long was that? 16, 17, 18, 19, 13 years ago. So pretty, obviously, quick maths there. Pretty solid job from there. Best in quality came, I guess he said. The team of the weekend, Haas. I would say Ferrari. I would beg to differ on that because, Haas had a good race, but then good qualifying, but then in the race they didn't really deliver. So if you want to be a good team of the weekend, team of the weekend, then you have to be consistent throughout all the course of the races and the sessions. And for me, Ferrari were the only team to be consistent. So I would say Ferrari for me, the team for the weekend. But anyways, let us know your opinions of the Grand Prix in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would be happy. I can't imagine many drivers or many fans being too disappointed with this Grand Prix. Let us know your opinions in the comment section below. Who's your driver of the day? Who's your driver of the day? Team of the weekend. And what was your favourite moment of the Grand Prix? Was this the best week? Obviously, I know this is definitely the best race of the season so far. But has this been the best race of the season, in the past 2-3 years, maybe 4 years since the V6s came into it? I believe so. It was a solid Grand Prix. It was definitely up there to say the least. But anyways, guys, this is where I'm wrap up this race review. Thank you very much for watching. Already, then please subscribe as well. Go and check out our F1 debate show that came out yesterday. And next up is the big one, the British Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix, and we're attending it. If I haven't said that already, we are going to the Grand Prix. We don't know how our schedule is going to be at the moment. We had a plan. It's now in a bit of turmoil, so we're trying to work around things. So I don't think there'll be an instant race review like there is now because we're going to be there. But in terms of other videos throughout the course of the weekend, I'm pretty sure we'll find out something. But yes, we are going. Let's hope we see that we hope that we see your faces there if you are going. Let us know if you are going to the British Grand Prix. Can't wait for that. But anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.